The promise under the star Liam stood alone in the middle of an empty field, surrounded by silence. The stars above him sparkled like tiny lights, and the cool wind moved gently through the tall grass. It had been 10 years since he made the promise. 10 long years. But tonight, something in the air felt different. He looked up at the sky, holding a small silver pendant in his hand. It wasn't from Earth. It was smooth, with glowing lines on its surface. Only one person had ever given him something like this. Her name was Sarah, and she wasn't human. Liam was just 17 when he met her. It happened one summer night in this same field. A strange light appeared in the sky. He thought it was a meteor, but it stopped in midair and then she came out of it. Sarah looked almost human, but not quite. Her eyes were silver. Her skin had a soft glow. She was curious, kind, and full of questions about Earth and humans. They talked for hours that night. Liam didn't understand everything she said, but he listened. She made him laugh. He made her smile. Before leaving, she told him something he never forgot. "I will return after 10 Earth years. Wait for me. It's important." He promised her he would, and he meant it. But when he told others, they laughed. His friends thought it was a joke. His parents told him to stop dreaming. Even Liam started to doubt himself over the years. Maybe it was all in his head. Maybe he was just a lonely boy who imagined something special. But he kept the pendant. And every year, on the same night, he came back to the field. Just in case. Tonight was the 10th year. The final night. After this, he would stop hoping. Hugh checked his watch. It was almost midnight. Suddenly, the wind changed. The air felt heavy like before a storm. The ground shook slightly under his feet. Liam looked up. And there it was. A bright light appeared in the sky, far brighter than a star. It moved slowly, silently until it hovered above the field. Liam's heart raced. It looked exactly like the light he saw 10 years ago. He took a step forward. "Sarah?" he whispered. A beam of light came down, and a figure slowly floated to the ground. Liam stared, unable to move. It was her. But she looked different now. Sarah had grown. She was taller, her eyes sharper. Her glow was stronger, and she wore some kind of armor. She didn't smile, not like before. "Liam," she said softly, her voice calm but serious. He nodded slowly, still in shock. You really came back." Sarah stepped closer. She looked around the field, as if checking for danger. Then she looked at him with sad eyes. "I kept my promise, but things have changed." "What's going on?" Liam asked. "Why do you look different?" Sarah held out her hand, and a small device floated up from her wrist. A screen appeared in the air showing a star map. Several points were blinking red. "There's a war coming," she said. "A war that started with something you don't even know you did." Liam frowned. "Me? I don't understand." Sarah touched the pendant in his hand. "Your DNA was taken, Liam. Years ago. Used by those who weren't supposed to touch it. They created something dangerous." "What are you talking about?" he asked, confused and scared. Sarah looked at him for a long moment. Then she said quietly, "I need your help." Before Liam could ask more, another light appeared in the sky. But this one wasn't peaceful. It was red and fast, burning through the clouds. Sarah's face turned serious. "They've found us." "Who?" Liam asked, stepping back. "The ones who want to erase the mistake, by destroying Earth." The sky roared above them as the second ship appeared, larger and louder. Liam's heart pounded. This was real. All of it. "We have to go," Sarah said. "Now." "Go where?" Sarah looked him in the eyes. "Someplace safe. And then, I'll explain everything." As they ran toward the glowing beam of her ship, Liam looked back at the quiet field one last time. 10 years ago, he made a promise. Under these stars, He never thought that promise would decide the fate of the world. The girl from the stars returns. The night sky was no longer calm. Red light tore through the darkness as a second alien ship followed Sarah's down to Earth. Liam ran beside her, heart thudding in his chest. The glowing grass under their feet lit the way as they reached her strange ship, sleek, silver, and humming with energy. The entrance opened without a sound. The air inside was cool and clean, but Liam had no time to wonder. He turned back to, "Look outside. What do they want?" he asked out of breath. Sarah didn't answer right away. She pressed a panel on the wall, and the door sealed shut with a hiss. Screens lit up around them, showing views of the outside, trees shaking, dust rising, and the second ship slowly landing in the field. "They want what I took from them," she said. Her voice was cold, full of tension, and what I took is the truth. Liam stepped back. "What truth?" She looked at him with those silver eyes. "It's not safe to stay here. I'll explain on the way." The ship rose silently, floating above the trees. Liam looked out the screen and saw the other ship now fully landed, black and covered in red lights. It looked angry, like it was hunting something or someone. "Where are we going?" he asked. Sarah replied, "To a hidden station, beneath the sea. No one will find us there." As the ship sped forward, Liam sat down, his head spinning. 10 minutes ago he was in a quiet field. Now he was flying with an alien girl he hadn't seen in 10 years, running from enemies he didn't understand. He stared at her. She looked so different now. Her soft voice from before was now sharp. Her smile was gone. Her armor looked like it had seen battle. Finally, he asked, "What happened to you?" Sarah sat across from him. For a moment she didn't speak. Then she said, "I was punished." Liam frowned. "For what?" "For coming to Earth. For meeting you. For breaking a rule that my people created long ago, no contact with humans. But you said you would come back. And I did. I escaped. I stole this ship. I left everything behind because I had to show you something." She stood up, pressed another button, and a wall slid open. Inside was a small room, filled with soft light. And there, lying in a glass pod, was a child. Liam stared, his mouth open. The child looked peaceful, sleeping, skin glowing slightly, hair dark, but the eyes even closed reminded him of someone. "Who is that?" he asked, barely able to speak. Sarah stepped closer. "Your daughter." His heart stopped. "What?" he whispered. "Liam. During our first meeting, something happened. Your DNA mixed with mine in a way our scientists never expected. They took it without asking. They created her in a lab." Liam shook his head. "No, that's not possible. You didn't know. You didn't choose. I'm sorry, but she exists. And now others want to use her. Not as a child. Not as a person. But as a weapon." Liam stepped closer to the pod. The child's chest rose and fell gently. "Why would anyone do this?" Sarah looked angry now. "Because she is powerful. She holds both human and Ilari traits, the only hybrid. And the Council fears her. They think she will break the balance between species. Then why bring her to Earth? Because Earth is where she belongs. And because you're the only one who can protect her." Liam turned to her. "Why me? I'm just a normal guy." Sarah stared at him. "You're not normal, Liam. Your blood reacts to alien energy. Your memories were locked after our first meeting, but now, being close to her, they're waking up. Tell me, have you had strange dreams lately?" Liam blinked. He had. Strange visions of lights, stars, running, falling, and fire. He thought they were just nightmares. Sarah nodded slowly. "You're changing. The closer you are to her, the more your hidden potential wakes up." Suddenly, the ship shook violently. Alarms blared. Sarah rushed to the front panel. "They've found us. They're faster than expected." "But we were flying. How?" They used a beacon. Someone betrayed me. The ship began diving, heading straight toward the ocean. "Hold on," Sarah shouted. They crashed into the water, but instead of sinking, the ship turned into a submarine. Lights flashed as it moved deep below the surface. Liam looked at the child again. "What's her name?" Sarah paused, then said, "Naira." He whispered the name. "Naira." For a moment, he forgot the danger. He just stared at her tiny face, floating in soft light, peaceful in sleep. Sarah joined him, her voice softer now. "She's not just our daughter, Liam. She's hope. Or she's destruction. It depends on what we choose next. What do we do now?" Sarah pressed her hand to the pod. "We wake her up." Liam looked at her. "Are you sure she's ready?" "No," she said, "but we don't have time to wait." As the submarine glided into a secret tunnel under the sea, Liam knew nothing would ever be normal again. He wasn't just running anymore. He was now part of something much bigger, and someone was coming for them. The chase begins. The deep-sea tunnel was dark, silent, and cold. Sarah's ship floated through it like a ghost. Strange sea creatures swam by the windows, some glowing, others hiding in shadows. Liam had never seen anything like it. But inside, the ship, it was not calm. A red light flashed above the control panel. Unauthorized access detected. Inside. Sarah stared at the warning. "That's not possible," she said. "The ship is sealed. No one got in." Liam looked around, tense. Then what triggered it? Sarah quickly tapped the panel. Security drones flew out from the walls, scanning every room. The red light kept blinking. "Someone is hiding," she said. "And they're already here." Liam stood near Naira's pod, his fists clenched. "They're after her, aren't they?" Sarah nodded. "They didn't follow us. They were already on board." Liam's voice dropped. "A traitor." Before Sarah could answer, the ship shook again, this time from inside. A loud bang echoed through the corridor. One of the drones sent a signal. "Life form detected. Engine room." Sarah pulled a glowing weapon from her belt. It wasn't like a gun. It looked like a small orb with light blades spinning around it. "Stay here with her," she told Liam. "If anything happens, do not open the pod, no matter what." Liam nodded, heart racing. "Sarah, be careful." She gave him a final look, then disappeared down the corridor. The door closed behind her and Liam was alone with Naira. The pod still glowed softly. Her face was calm, like she was dreaming. Liam placed his hand on the glass. "Who are you, really?" he whispered. "What did they make you into?" He didn't expect a reply. But then, Naira moved. Not much. Just her fingers twitching. Her eyes stayed closed, but her hand slowly lifted as if reaching toward him. Liam froze. Was she waking up? Or was this something else? Before he could think more, a crash echoed through the ship. Then silence. Then footsteps. Liam stood quickly, looking at the door. It opened, but it wasn't Sarah. A tall figure stepped into the room wearing dark armor with red lines glowing across the chest. A helmet covered their face. They didn't speak. Liam stepped in front of Naira's pod. "You're not taking her." The figure raised a hand. A strange light pulsed through the room, and Liam flew backward, hitting the wall hard. Pain shot through his back. He tried to stand, but the figure was already near the pod. The armored intruder placed a device on the pod's lock. It began to beep, counting down. Liam forced himself up. His body screamed in pain, but his mind was clear. He had to stop this. He picked up a broken metal rod from the floor. Not a weapon, but all he had. The figure didn't seem worried. They turned slowly, ready to finish him. But just then, the pod's lights turned bright white. A pulse of energy exploded outward. Both Liam and the attacker were thrown to the ground. The pod opened. Naira floated upward, eyes now glowing. Not silver like Sarah's. Not brown like Liam's. Pure white. Her hair floated around her like it was moving in water. Energy danced around her hands. She looked at Liam first. "Father?" she said, her voice soft but clear. Then she looked at the intruder, and she screamed. It wasn't a human scream. It was high, sharp, like a sound from another world. The walls shook, screens cracked. The attacker tried to shield their ears, stumbling back. Naira raised her hand, and the device on the pod exploded. Liam stared, shocked. The child he never knew existed just stopped a trained enemy in seconds. Sarah returned, panting, armor scratched. She froze when she saw Naira floating in the air. "She's awake," Sarah whispered. The intruder tried to flee, but Naira raised a hand again. This time the ship locked all doors. "You came to take me," she said, voice calm again. "But I will not go." With a burst of energy, she sent the attacker flying into the wall, knocking them unconscious. Then she collapsed. Liam ran forward, catching her in his arms. Her glow faded. Her eyes closed again. "She used too much power," Sarah said, kneeling beside them. Liam looked at her. "What is she?" Sarah touched Naira's forehead. "Something that was never meant to exist." Liam held Naira close, his fear now mixed with wonder. "Then why does it feel like she was meant to find me?" Sarah didn't answer. The ship continued deeper into the sea until it finally reached a hidden base, carved into the side of an underwater mountain. The doors opened. Inside waited others. People like Sarah, but different. Some had wings. Some had markings on their skin. All looked serious. One stepped forward. "You brought her here?" Sarah nodded. "I had no choice." "Do you know what they'll do when they find out?" "I don't care," Sarah replied. "We don't need their permission anymore." Liam stood up, carrying Naira. He looked at them all. "Who are you people?" Sarah turned to him. "We're the broken, the rejected, the ones who believe in peace, not power. And now, you're one of us." Liam looked around at the strange faces, then down at his daughter. The chase wasn't over. It had only just begun. Secrets of the DNA. The underwater base was nothing like Liam had imagined. The walls were alive, glowing with soft blue light as if they were breathing. Alien machines floated in the air, silently working. Tubes ran along the ceiling like vines, pulsing with energy. This place wasn't built. It was grown. Liam followed Sarah through the long, curved corridor. He carried Naira in his arms. She was still unconscious but stable. The strange doctors had scanned her and said her energy levels were readjusting. Liam didn't understand the terms. He only cared if she was safe. "Where are we going?" he asked quietly. Sarah glanced back at him. "To the archive room. You need to see the truth. All of it." "What truth?" Liam asked. "You've shown me aliens, ships, even our child. How much more truth is there?" Sarah stopped walking. "Too much." They entered a tall chamber filled with floating orbs, each one glowing with tiny holograms. The air was heavy, almost sacred. It smelled like old books and burning stars. A tall figure stood near the center. His skin was like polished stone. No eyes, no mouth. Yet he turned as if he could see them. "This is Keeper Vorex," Sarah said. "He guards all forbidden records." Vorex bowed. His voice echoed without moving his face. "You are the human. The key." "Welcome, Liam." Liam didn't reply. He didn't know how to feel. Part of him wanted to run. Part of him needed to know everything. Vorex raised his hand. One of the orbs floated down, glowing brighter. "This is your file," Vorex said. "The truth they erased from you." Liam stepped closer. The orb opened. A hologram appeared, of a much younger Liam, maybe 5 years old. He was sleeping in a hospital bed. Around him stood aliens in long white robes. They were arguing. "This is wrong," one said. "He's just a child." "But his cells reacted," another replied. "We must proceed." Liam's face was peaceful, but above him, machines were already scanning his body. His blood was glowing. Tiny lights moved through his veins. "This isn't just alien DNA," Sarah whispered. "This is modified DNA. Liam turned to her. What does that mean? Vorex answered. It means you were changed, long before we met you. Someone, or something, altered your genetics as a child. Liam's hands trembled. Are you saying I'm not fully human? No, Sarah said. You are human, but someone gave you something else. A seed, a code. It was sleeping inside you for years. And meeting you woke it up, Liam said. Sarah nodded. And Naira is the result. Liam looked down at his hands. He didn't feel powerful. He felt broken. Used. Who did this to me? He asked. Vorex turned to another orb. It showed a group of alien leaders sitting in a high chamber. Their faces were hidden, masked in gold. The Galactic Council, Vorex said. The ones who now want Naira destroyed? Liam's heart pounded. They did this, and now they want to kill her for it? They fear her, Sarah said. Because she's the proof of what they did. A living weapon created without approval. Liam felt fire rising in his chest. They made her, then blamed you, then erased me. And now, Vorex said, they will come for all of you. Just then, the wall behind them glowed red. An emergency signal. Sarah ran to the console. Multiple ships entering Earth's orbit, a voice announced. Non-council, bounty hunters, heavily armed. Liam looked at Sarah. They found us? No, she said. Someone sent them. This is not an attack, it's a capture mission. Liam turned to Vorex. What happens if they get her? Vorex spoke slowly. Then she will never be a child again. The words hit hard. Liam looked at Naira, still resting in a glass pod inside the room. She looked peaceful, innocent. But now he knew the truth. She was born from stolen power. Liam clenched his fists. Then we fight. Sarah nodded. We're preparing. The broken may be few, but we're strong. Vorex touched his shoulder. You must awaken your blood. Your gift is still locked. Liam frowned. How? Vorex raised another orb. Inside it was a strange room, filled with mirrors and energy fields. The forge, Vorex said. Enter it. If you survive, your powers will awaken. If you fail, you'll die. Liam didn't hesitate. Take me there. Inside the forge, the room was empty, but Liam could feel it breathing. Every wall reflected him, not just his face, but his fears. Flashes of memories played around him. His childhood, his loneliness, meeting Sarah, holding Naira. A voice echoed, What are you willing to lose? Liam shouted, Nothing. Not her. Not my family. Not again. The room pulsed with heat. Lines appeared on his skin, glowing softly. His blood responded to the energy. His heartbeat synced with something older, deeper. He screamed, not from pain, but from pressure. His bones felt like they were cracking but not breaking, changing. Then, silence. When he stepped out, he was different. His eyes glowed faintly. Not like Sarah's. Not like Naira's. His glow was gold. He unlocked the forbidden line, Vorex whispered. The ancient code. Sarah looked at him with something between pride and fear. They'll feel it, across the galaxy. They'll know. Liam looked at his hands. Energy danced in his veins. Then let them come. Meanwhile, on a distant moon, the Galactic Council watched the golden signal rise from Earth. One masked leader spoke. It's begun. The prophecy child is real. Another replied. Then we do not delay. We erase the bloodline. The betrayer among us deep beneath the ocean in the hidden alien base, silence had become a warning. Liam stood near Naira's pod, watching her recover. Her breathing was steady. Her skin glowed softly with golden light now, matching the same strange energy Liam had unlocked in the forge. But his mind wasn't calm, since Naira whispered those 3 words. They're already here. Something had changed. The lights flickered more often, the air felt heavier, and the faces around him. didn't all feel like friends. Liam turned to Sarah. We need to search the base. If someone let the bounty hunters in, we need to know who. Sarah nodded. I've already started scanning every signal inside. The saboteur is still here, hiding among us. Liam clenched his jaw. We trusted them. And that trust nearly got Naira taken. They walked into the council chamber where the broken, the rebels, scientists, and exiles, had gathered. Most were quiet. A few whispered as Liam entered. They looked at him differently now. Some with respect. Others with fear. The golden glow in his veins made him stand out. Not human, not alien. Something new. We have a traitor, Sarah announced. One of you helped the bounty hunters find us. One of you tried to take Naira. Murmurs filled the room. The tension was thick. An old rebel named Kalos stood. Why would any of us betray her? Naira is the future. Liam stepped forward. Because someone in this room still answers to the council. The silence deepened. Suddenly, a sound came from the hallway. Quick footsteps. A young tech ran in, holding a data chip. I found something. Security logs from 2 nights ago. Sarah took the chip and placed it on the main table. A hologram appeared. It showed the entrance to Naira's room. At 03:17, a figure slipped past the guards. Cloaked, fast, quiet. Liam narrowed his eyes. Can we clear the image? The tech adjusted the scan. The face came into focus. Liam froze. It was someone he knew, someone he trusted. No, he whispered. It was Aisha, a human, one of the few rebels from Earth. She had been kind to Naira, brought her food, told Liam stories about his mother. His mother. Liam turned sharply. Where is she? She left an hour ago, the tech said. She took a scout ship, said she was going to collect supplies. Liam looked at Sarah. She's not coming back, she was never here to help. We have to stop her, Sarah said, before she reaches the surface. Liam grabbed a tracker from the table. I'll go. Above Earth, stratosphere. Zonelium's small ship cut through the water and blasted upward, straight through the ocean's surface and into the sky. Clouds rushed past him. Stars returned above. He tracked Aisha's signal. She had landed on a broken military base, an old satellite station from the early space age. No one lived there anymore, or so he thought. As Liam stepped out of the ship, he saw her waiting, standing beside a large metallic container and speaking into a communicator. Yes, council leader, he's here. The child has awakened. But I'll fix everything. Liam stepped forward. Talking to old friends? Aisha turned sharply. Her face wasn't surprised. I was hoping you wouldn't follow me. Liam frowned. Why? Why betray? Us? She lowered her voice. You don't know the whole story, Liam. Then tell me. Aisha sighed. Your mother, she was part of this. She worked with the council. They used her knowledge to begin the DNA program. You were their first test subject. Liam's breath caught. That's not possible, he said. She was a nurse, a good person. She was a scientist first, Aisha replied. She didn't want to hurt you. But when she found out what they really planned, she ran. And she took you with her. Liam's voice cracked. She saved me. Yes, Aisha said, but the council has wanted you back ever since. She opened the container. Inside was a glowing weapon, ancient, alien, alive. This is the Star Mind, Aisha said. It's what they want to use on Naira. It removes all memory, all will. She would become their tool. Liam's rage flared. You're going to use that on her? No, she said softly. I was going to destroy it. I betrayed them too long ago. Liam stared at her. Then why spy on us? Aisha looked up. Because I had to be sure that Naira wouldn't become what they fear. And? Aisha stepped back. She's more than they ever imagined, and she's already stronger than both of us. I've seen the future. Liam narrowed his eyes. What future? She doesn't just change the galaxy. She ends it. A tense silence filled the cold air between them. "I don't believe that," Liam said. "Then you'll fight it," she replied. Without warning, the star mind pulsed. It activated itself. Liam and Aisha were both pushed backward by a shockwave. Naira's voice echoed from inside Liam's mind. "Father, I'm awake." He looked up. Her image flickered in front of him, projected from his blood connection. "I saw what she saw. I saw what they fear. I saw myself destroying stars." Liam's voice trembled. "Naira, listen to me. No future is written. They only see what might happen." "Then what do I do?" she asked. "You choose," he said, "and I will protect your right to choose, even if it means fighting the entire galaxy." Naira's image faded, but her presence remained strong. In his chest, Liam stood up and faced Aisha. "We don't destroy her future. We protect it, even from ourselves." Aisha nodded slowly. "Then we hide the star mind. Forever." Together, they sealed the weapon in a deep core vault, one no one could reach. Aisha looked at Liam. "You have your mother's fire, and Naira has mine," he said. They returned to the base, but something had changed. As they landed, Sarah ran to them. "We have a bigger problem," she said, eyes wide. "A galactic fleet just appeared above Earth. Not bounty hunters, not rebels. The Council itself." Liam's jaw tightened. "They're done waiting." Sarah handed him a transmission. On the screen, a masked council leader spoke. "You have 72 hours to surrender the child, or we begin Phase 1, extinction." The final choice, the countdown had begun. The hours. That was all Earth had left, according to the message from the Galactic Council. If Liam didn't hand over Naira, the skies would burn, the oceans would boil, the planet would fall. The base under. The sea was filled with tension. Engineers scrambled to build defenses. Rebels sharpened weapons. Shields were being tested, but deep down, everyone knew. If the Council truly attacked, no technology could stop them. Liam sat alone in the quiet chamber near Naira's room. The soft hum of the ocean surrounded him. He stared at his reflection in the glass wall. Golden, lines still glowed faintly on his skin, a reminder of the power that now lived inside him. But power didn't feel like enough, not when the fate of the world depended on one impossible decision. Behind him, Naira entered. She didn't say anything at first. She just sat beside him. Even though she was only 10, she moved like someone who had seen centuries. "You're quiet," Liam said gently. "Everyone is thinking about dying," Naira replied. Liam looked at her. "And what are you thinking about?" She looked up at him with those white glowing eyes. "What if they're right? What if I am dangerous?" Liam shook his head. "You're not. You don't know that," she said. "You saw the visions. Like I did." He had. The day Naira awakened, flashes of the future had passed through his mind. Worlds crumbling, stars dying, armies falling. All of it. Because of her. Or at least, the version of her that had been used. "I saw one future," Liam said. "But that future hasn't happened," Naira frowned. "So what if they're afraid of what I might become? Then it's our job to show them what you really are. And what if I'm something they can never accept?" Liam was quiet for a long moment, then he looked her in the eyes. "Then we protect you anyway. Because fear doesn't get to decide who you become." A voice interrupted. "Sarah, you need to come to the war room. Now." War room. Undersea base. Everyone was gathered. Aisha, Vorex, the rebels. The monitors showed images of space. A council fleet of more than 30 ships now in Earth's orbit. One of them was larger than the rest. Black, with a glowing red symbol. "That's the Dreadmother," Sarah said. "A world-erasing ship. It carries extinction dust. A single drop can turn a city into ash." Liam looked at the countdown. 8 hours left. Vorex turned to him. There may be one way to stop this. Everyone listened closely. The council believes it holds all power. But if we show them that their greatest weapon, Nara, is not under their control and never will be, we might force them to stand down. Liam frowned. How? Vorex said. You go to them. You mean, give her up? No. Sarah interrupted. He goes with Naira, as her father, as her protector, and shows them she is not their tool. She is her own choice. And if they don't listen? Liam asked. Vorex lowered his head. Then we activate the last resort. Liam turned to Aisha. What last resort? Aisha looked pale. We recovered a code, a pulse weapon, old Larry tech. It destroys advanced machines, shuts down anything connected to the council grid. And the catch? It works once and it needs to be triggered inside the council's main ship. Liam understood immediately. A suicide mission. Sarah stepped forward. Let me go. Liam shook his head. No, you've done enough. This started with me. It ends with me. Naira walked forward. It ends with me. Everyone turned. Her voice was calm, but powerful. They want me, not you. I go. Liam stood up. Absolutely not. Naira looked at him, not like a child, but like someone who had made her decision. If I go to them willingly, maybe they'll listen. Liam clenched his fists. They don't want to listen. They want to control or destroy. Then we give them a third option, she said. We show them what mercy looks like. Naira. No, Father, she said quietly. You gave me life, now let me give something back. Council flagship. The Dread Mother, Liam, Sarah, and Naira entered the heart of the enemy. The inside of the council ship was silent, clean, too perfect. They were led by masked guards into a glowing chamber. The council stood above them, looking down. You brought the child, one voice said. We brought the truth, Sarah replied. You broke our law, another voice said. You made a hybrid without permission. Liam stepped forward. You made her. You stole from us. And now, you're afraid of the result. The lights grew darker. Earth is under our judgment. Give the child. Or face the end. Liam looked at Naira. She nodded. Then she stepped forward and kneeled. The council stirred. Why do you kneel? A voice asked. Naira looked up, calm. Because I want to show you that I am not here to fight. The room fell silent. Then she stood and held out her hand. But I will not be yours. In her palm was the pulse code, the ancient tech. Alive. Glowing. You think I'm your weapon. So let me show you what weapons do. When they choose. She activated it. A shockwave ripped through the Dread Mother. The ship's lights blinked. Alarms. Rangda Council systems crashed. Ships above Earth began falling from orbit, dead in the sky. One of the council shouted, What have you done? Naira stood tall. I set you free, from your control. Then, silence. One by one the lights dimmed, and Earth lived. Aftermath back at the ocean base, Liam watched the skies. The council fleet was gone. Some fell. Some fled. But none returned. Vorex stepped beside him. You changed everything today. Liam didn't answer. Naira was inside, resting. Her energy was weak, but she was alive. Aisha approached holding an old memory chip. This was from your mother, she said softly. She wanted you to have it, if you survived. Liam played it. His owl. Mother's voice filled the air. Liam, my son, I made mistakes. I let them take something from you. But I knew, one day, you would make them regret it. Not with violence, but with heart. That's who you are. Not a weapon. A choice. Tears ran down Liam's face. Sarah stood beside him, silent, proud. Naira opened her eyes again and smiled. Did we win? She asked. Liam nodded. For now. The cost of a promise. The ocean was calm. For the first time in weeks, no ships hovered above Earth. No alarms echoed through the base. No countdowns, no threats, no war. Peace had finally come. Liam sat beside Naira's bed. She was still resting, her glow dim but steady. The use of the pulse code had drained her energy, maybe more than she let anyone see. The war was over. But Liam didn't feel like he had won. He remembered the night he met Sarah 10 years ago in a quiet field. She had asked him to wait. He had promised he would. He kept that promise, and now, here they were, survivors of a war that almost erased their planet. But at what cost? Sarah entered the room silently. She placed her hand on Liam's shoulder. "She'll recover," she said softly. "But it will take time." Liam nodded. "I know." They stood in silence. Then the base lights flickered. Just once. Liam stood up. "What was that?" Sarah turned to the control panel. "I don't know. There's no storm. No interference." Then the voice of Vorex echoed through the base's speaker. "Liam, come to the archive. Now. We've found something. Something we weren't meant to see." The archive. Undersea, Basilium and Sarah entered the chamber. Vorex was already waiting, surrounded by glowing orbs of information. He looked shaken. For the first time, the ancient being looked afraid. "What is it?" Liam asked. Vorex lifted one orb. This message came from the edge of the void quadrant. A dead zone. No life. No signals. Or so we thought. The orb projected a dark, broken world. Orbiting it, something massive. Not a ship. Not a moon. A machine. "We intercepted this only moments after the Council's collapse," Vorex said. Something else was watching the entire conflict, and now, he played the message. A cold mechanical voice spoke. The hybrid child was never the threat. She was the test. Phase 1 complete. Phase 2 begins. Liam's heart sank. "Who are they?" he asked. Vorex answered quietly. "The old creators, forgotten by most species. Before the Council, before humans. They vanished from history, or so we believed." Sarah stepped forward. "They've been waiting, in the dark, hiding, watching. And now they're coming," Liam said. Naira's Visionera woke alone in the resting chamber. Soft lights glowed above her and distant waves echoed from the walls. She sat up, then paused. A figure stood at the far end of the room. Not Sarah, not Liam. This figure wore no armor, no skin. It was like a shadow made of stars. She tried to move, but her body wouldn't respond. The shadow spoke. "You are not ours, but you were built from us." "Who are you?" Naira asked, her voice trembling. "We are the first code, the forgotten spark, the mind before matter. Why are you here? To offer a gift and a warning." Naira narrowed her eyes. "What kind of gift?" "Clarity." In a flash, Naira saw everything, not the past, not the future, but the plan. She saw herself as a weapon in the Council's hands, then a destroyer in the hands of this new enemy. Then something else entirely. "Bridge between two species," a voice echoed again. "You may choose mercy, but mercy will not choose you back." Naira screamed, and woke up. Liam ran in. "What happened?" She looked at him, eyes full of fear. "They're not coming. They're already here." The new Enemaya meeting was held in the command room. Naira explained what she saw, what she felt. "They don't want to control the galaxy," she said. "They want to restart it, wipe out every species, start from zero, and they're using me as the spark." Vorex turned pale. "They're following the Zero Protocol, the Great Reset." Liam clenched his fists. "Then we stop them." Sarah turned to Liam. "No army can fight what's coming. They exist in shadow. They rewrite reality." "Then we find another way." Aisha entered the room. "Maybe there is one." Everyone turned to her. "I've been studying the pulse code," she said. "It wasn't just a weapon, it was a lock. designed to hold something in, not just keep enemies out. What are you saying? Liam asked. I think Naira was never the threat. She was the key. Nara looked confused. Key to what? A prison, Aisha replied. They made you to open it, and now it's unlocking. The final choice? Vorex stepped forward. There is one way to stop them. We seal the prison forever, but it must be done from the inside. Liam knew what that meant. Someone has to stay behind. Aisha nodded. Yes, and once the door closes, it can't ever open again. Sarah looked at Nara. You can't go. Nara said nothing. Liam spoke. I'll go. Everyone turned to him. This started with me, he said. They used me to create her. They twisted my blood. But now, I get to choose what it means. Naira grabbed his hand. I don't want to lose you. Liam smiled through his tears. And I don't want to lose you. But I promised I'd protect you. I made that promise 10 years ago. Under the stars. You kept it, she whispered. And now I'll keep it again. He hugged her, held her close, kissed her forehead, then he turned to Sarah. Make sure she grows up. Make sure she remembers the truth. Not the war, not the power, but the choice. Sarah nodded, tears in her eyes. On final light, Liam entered the gate room. The portal, too. The prison dimension glowed like a dying sun. Vorex stood beside him. Are you afraid? Yes, Liam said honestly. Vorex placed a hand on his chest. That means you're still human. Liam stepped into the portal. As it began to close, he turned back one last time. Nara stood at the edge, watching him. He smiled. I waited for her, and I'd wait again. Then, he was gone. The gate closed, sealed forever. Years later, Nara stood in the same field where her father once waited for a girl from the stars. The night sky was clear. She wore a pendant around her neck. Her father's. She looked up. I remember you, she whispered. Behind her, children played, laughing. Peace had returned. The galaxy was healing. But deep in the stars, beyond time, in a locked world, a golden light still burned, because promises don't end, not even across galaxies.